Hi, and welcome to Psych 111, General Psychology for summer 2021. This video is one of several videos that we have in our orientation material to help you get acclimated to the course and to set you up to be successful. And we're going to start just by looking at the syllabus together, which you can find over on the left-hand toolbar all the time. You'll see that there's a college policies document, and that separates out all the things that aren't unique to our course, so how to withdraw, how to do various things at the college. It's an important document, but I've separated it out from what's unique to our course. So if you click on the syllabus, and I'm just going to open it here so we can see it better. We have all kinds of information about our course, starting with how you can best reach me. And even before that, let me go back one step. The fact that our course is asynchronous, right? Which means that we have no class meetings. There are not specific times of the day that you need to be on where we're going to all be on together. There are due dates. As you're going to see, there are lots and lots of due dates. And there's work due essentially every other day throughout the week. Every week, but you can be on at any time of the day you want as long as you meet the due dates for all of the work. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is how you reach me. Your best way of reaching me over the summer is definitely through email. I will be on my email regularly, and if you don't hear back from me within 24 hours or so, if you email me, assume something's gone wrong. Either that your email never reached me, or that something's gone wrong on my end, that I've somehow missed your email, etc. But if you haven't heard from me in 24 hours or so, go ahead and email me again and just say, hey, I emailed you yesterday, I haven't heard back from you. And I'll be happy to look for your email or tell you I never got it. But that is the best way of reaching me. You can call me, but I'm not on campus. It'll go to my email, actually, if you call me. And that's just going to slow things down in terms of getting back to you. My office hours over the summer, I don't have established office hours over the summer. I will see anyone who wants to be seen by appointment. We'll meet virtually. And you can see the link here for WebEx. What you'll do if you want to set up a meeting with me is just email me, let me know you want to set up a meeting, give me some idea of what your schedule is so that I can try to accommodate that, and then we'll set up a time to meet. Okay. You will need to read the textbook, as you know from my previous email. And by the way, if you registered late or anything like that, all of the emails are always in the announcements page when you log on to the course. You could always go back and find any previous messages there. But we're using what is called an open educational resource textbook, which means it's free to you if you choose to use the digital copy of it that I provided. And that's in the left-hand toolbar right by the syllabus. You will need to read it, and there'll be a schedule for reading it as we move through each chapter. If you want a hard copy of the book, I also have links here to how you can purchase it, and so you can take a look at those as well. The other, and that should cost you like $35 or something like that. The other resource that's useful is this link that I've provided to our library guide for Psych 111. And there's lots of good information there, including how to use our electronic databases to find peer-reviewed articles, which you're going to need to do, and guides to APA style. So keep that handy. If you haven't already, you should either print out if you'd like, or just download a copy of the syllabus so that even if you're offline, you have access to it. So let's move along here and talk some about grades, which I know students are always desperately interested in at the beginning of a class. So we work on a 1,000-point system. And what that means is that if you earned every point that was available to you, you didn't lose any points on any assignments or assessments, then you would wind up with 1,000 points at the end of the semester. And obviously that would secure you an A. But you can also earn an A if you get 930 points, right? That's the lower end of that of the range for an A, which means you could lose up to 70 points over the course of the semester and still have an A for the course. In any given assignment or assessment, like an exam, exams are worth 100 points each. You will keep whatever points you earn. We're not working on percentages. We're not working on letter grades for individual assignments. So let's say, for example, you got a 50 on an exam, which wouldn't be great. In a normal class, in a traditional grading scheme, that would mean that you had a 50 out of 100. 50% would be a failing grade, and essentially it would be as if you never showed up for the exam, right? You get an F for the exam, and it would be as if you didn't come in for the exam because you get no credit for it. In our 1,000-point system, you would keep your 50 points, which means you would lose 50 points. Not great. But if you were working off 1,000, that means you would still have 950 points. It also means that when we have extra credit, those points just go into the total. So, it's possible, and I imagine some of you will, if history is a guide of any kind. Some of you will wind up finishing the class with more than 1,000 points because you do really well on all of the required stuff, and then you do, all of the extra credit stuff, and you wind up with more than 1,000 points. And that is a nice way. Making sure you do the extra credit is a nice way to create a buffer for yourself. So if something doesn't go well, it doesn't impact your grade more than it should. So you can always ask me questions about the 1,000-point system, but let's talk about how we get to 1,000. I should say Blackboard will show you there's a total column in my grades. That will be a running total of all of the points you've earned. So at any given point, you could look and see, oh, now I have 300 points, right? That will always be a running total. And so just it's just addition. All your points get added there. One way to think about your grade that's useful is to think about points you've lost. So if you lose 5 points on a discussion, now you're down to 995, right? And so to think about that, and I think it's useful at the start of the semester to think about what is the lowest number of points you want, given what letter grade you want, and to keep yourself above that minimum. All right, so let's look at how you're going to, I'm sorry, I'm having trouble scrolling, how you're going to earn your grade. There's 4 exams over the course of the semester, after every second chapter. So every exam will have 2 chapters on it. And those are worth 100 points each for 400 possible points over the course of our class. The exams will be a combination of multiple choice and open-ended, kind of, I think of them as short essays, about a paragraph long. And so there'll be 30 multiple choice questions and 10 of those paragraph long open-ended questions on each of the exams. And the exams will be divided fairly equally between the 2 chapters that are represented for that exam. You also have a written paper that you have to do. It's not a very long written paper. It's more, it's that there's a set of skills I need you to have by the time you finish my class. One set of skills, I need to know you can find a peer-reviewed article. I need to know that you can read and make sense of peer-reviewed research, and that you could respond to it critically. And that paper assignment requires you to do all 3 of those things. There is a detailed explanation of the assignment that we'll look at in a separate video, so we won't need to talk about that right now. But that exam will be 150, that paper will be 150 points. You'll also be required to submit the article that you're going to use ahead of time for my approval. It's 10 points, not a lot of points, but 10 points associated with that for a total of 160 for everything involved with the paper. And we will come back to the paper in another video. You do have reading quizzes for each chapter, so we read we cover 8 chapters together. You will have 8 reading quizzes. These are online quizzes that are due a couple of days, 2 days after the chapter opens, and it's to make sure that you are have a preliminary understanding of the material. It's also to make sure you're doing the reading. So those you'll have for each of the 8 chapters. They're 15 points each for a total of 120 points. Also going to have 2 required discussion forums for each of the chapters. So for each chapter, there is a discussion prompt, something I'm giving you that I want you to respond to. And so for the first chapter, it has to do with research. Ask you to think about research in some way. And then in addition, so you'll respond to that, and then by the end of our week, you'll also reply to classmates' posts about that. And then you'll also have the second forum is what I call a Muddiest Points forum, and that is a place where you must submit a question that you have about the material. So that could be something you don't understand well and need to understand better. Or it could be something you're curious about related to the material that you just want to explore more. So if you understand everything in the given chapter, which is unlikely, but that'd be awesome, then think about something you want to just explore further. And you could post a question about that, and then you do need to answer questions that your classmates post. There's also going to be some extra credit opportunities in some of the chapters, actually starting with the first one. Look out for those. Those are usually worth about 10 points each, and then there's a final extra credit at the end of the semester worth more than that. But as I said earlier, those just get added to your 1,000 points, right? So that you could wind up over 1,000 points. We go to the outline just so we can see it. Chapters will always start on a Monday. So we have a very predictable rhythm and schedule to our course. We have an 8-week course. We have 8 chapters. It works out beautifully. Chapters always open on a Monday. You have a quiz due Wednesday. You have a discussion, your first discussion post in both of those forums that we just talked about are due on Friday. And then you have replies to your classmates due by Sunday. So you have something that's due every other day. Opens on Monday, quiz on Wednesday, first posts on both forums on Friday, and then replies to classmates on Sunday, and then the next chapter opens the next day. All of these dates will also be listed on Blackboard, and we'll take a look at the Blackboard organization in the next video quickly together. But you can see on our outline here, our exams are listed, the article submission for your paper, when your paper is due. You have an optional rewrite of the paper that we'll talk about, right? So all of this is listed on the syllabus and will also be reflected in the Blackboard material. So if you haven't already, get yourself a copy of the syllabus that you can look at when you're not connected to the internet, and I will see you in the next video.